Hey y'all, I'm Ellen. This is my Flosstube sewing making vlog, whatever you want to call it. I am on here on YouTube and on Instagram as Carolina Pigeon. But many years ago I was Make Do Maker, and I had a little 2-run Flosstube that was a lot of fun to make. So I decided that I needed that joy back in my life, and that it was time to make a few more videos. But because I am busy, like a lot of people are, I can't really find the time or commitment to sit down for like an hour and plan out a big long Flosstube, you know, talking about all my whips and everything I'm working on and all my finishes and all that stuff. I love watching those. I don't have time to do those. So I've seen quite a few folks doing little vlog styles, like 5-10 minutes here, and then stitching them all together for, you know, their own Flosstube that kind of catalogs progress through the week or weeks. So I thought I'd give that a go. In these videos, you can expect to see different types of sewing, stitching, cross stitch, quilting, maybe some clothes making. I'm not super confident in it. And maybe some knitting. I've finished my first knitting project in years and years, and I kind of liked it. So we'll see if I've gotten bitten by that bug, or if I'm just like a one project wonder. Yay, I proved to myself I can do it. Let's move on. We'll see. Today, it is Monday, August something, not really sure. And I just wrapped up work, which is why my brain is goo. But I thought that before I settled in for the night, I'd just go ahead and jump in, talk about something I love a lot, and that's my stitching. So I want to share what I worked on this weekend. I didn't have a ton of time, but I was able to get to work on some projects. I've got 4 projects to show you. 2 of them are sows that are going on that you've probably either seen or might be working on. So let me know if you're working on these as well. So the first one is the Not So Scary Apothecary by Tiny Modernist. That's where I am. I pretty much am caught up, except for some of the, like, you know, filling in all the like yellow in between. I don't want to move too far because, like, she may, you know, throw a big wrench and it's not all squares, but I'll probably go back once, you know, at least we have the next one on Wednesday, and finish up some of those. But I am staying up to date with that, which I'm super proud of myself. I never do sows, and somehow I'm doing 2 now. So that's Tiny Modernist, Not So Scary Apothecary. I really love herbs, and I have my own little apothecary, and sometimes I may go plant geek out a little bit. I'll try to kind of keep that in these sewing videos, but just kind of a heads up. So that was kind of a no-brainer for me for that. And then of course I started Evergreen by Sprouting Lupine. I have them on the same fabric. That's Evergreen by Sprouting Lupine. You know, I've got the first beetle and then a frame for the little ladybugs, and I'll keep working on that. I've got a little bit of catching up to do before the next installment comes out, but super loving it. I love Sprouting Lupine stuff. I've got a couple of her pieces right there. I also really love bugs. I've got in this lamp, you can't really see it. Can you see it? No, you still can't see it. It's got these kind of cool bowls, and this is, you're getting first, you're seeing the level of weirdo here. Right, so I like when I find bugs, just put them in my lamp here. Right there, see? Let's see if this will stay put now. So I've got that. I've got a cicada, which I did stitch the boomerang stitches cicada. And so I had like cicadas to put around it because I've got cicadas. Little wasp nest. Just fun. Curiosities in my lamp bowl. Both of these are stitched on Barefoot Needle Art. I'm in South Carolina, so I'm pretty close to Barefoot Needle Art. It's their Sandy Toes, and it's a 20 count Aida. So I'm stitching both of these over, well, it's Aida, so you know, but stitching them with one strand. So yeah, I just kind of move my nerd hoop back and forth between the two of them. I am also I've been working on Autumn Bee. I started this last year, I think last summer, and kind of went in and out with it. That's what I've got. It's on not Sprouting Lupine. It's on Lap and Loops Mothman fabric, which I absolutely love. I love this purple. And it's using Dinky Dye silks, which this is my first time using silks for a full project, I think. That's a lie. I used the Trinway silks for the X Stitch the Rainbow. So this is my second silk project, and I really love it, except my dogs really love it too, and they got a hold of the flosses, and yeah, one is MIA. So I need to order another color in order to really finish that. That's kind of why I stalled out on that. And then lastly, this weekend, I'd worked a tiny little bit on 11 Rabbits by Jed X Stitch. Just a tiny little bit. And that's on the called for. It's the 40 count cedar linen. Cedar linen? Y'all know what I mean. Cedar River linen. I lie. Golly, I'm lying a lot. It's a 36 count arboreal by Cedar River, but I'm stitching it over one. Maybe that's why I thought it was 40, because it's just over one. Anyway, that's what I'm working on right now. Like I said, was really busy this weekend. I have a real job, Monday through Friday, 9 to 5. Y'all are gonna like watch this and be like, God, that girl doesn't know anything. She lies about everything. Monday through Friday, 8 to 4, I'm in education. But then on the weekends, I teach yoga classes. So this weekend was kind of a whirlwind because I taught 3 classes, but I did get some stitching in on all of those. That's kind of my wind down, decompressing in the evening, especially in South Carolina. It's really, really hot outside. I think right now I don't know if it reached 100 today or if it that's just the index, but it's too hot to go play outside and piddle around in the garden. So this has been what I've been working on. So I'll see you next time, maybe tomorrow, maybe the day after, to share my progress. Hey y'all, it's Wednesday, August 19th. Sorry for the weird light. It's evening, like maybe 6, getting close to 6:30, and so the light's coming in kind of funny. But I am trying to do my best to make sure that I am doing these little short vlogs no matter what the light looks like, or I just got done with yoga, no matter what I look like, just because it's fun, because I really want to be able to keep talking about sewing and stitching. So I've got 2 pieces, some progress on 2 pieces, and that's kind of it. And then I've got a lot of things that are kind of cooking up here in terms of things I'd like to finish and like to work on, but also a lot of quilting that's about to come down the pipe. I never know which word that is. Okay, so first off, update on Evergreen. This is the Sal by Sprouting Lupine. I got the rest of it, everything that's been released so far. Everything so far. So I've got the sweet little ladybugs here. Of course, that was there last time. And then you can sort of see it. There you go. A really light frame on that one. So one of the things I really love about this salad, I didn't talk about it much last time, is that Kat is giving us entomological information on the all of the insects as they're released. So maybe next time I'll update, but it's just really, really cool information that I, of course, geek out on a little bit. All right, so that's the progress on that. New release of the Not So Scary Apothecary came out today. Haven't touched that. That's still exactly where it was, so I won't show you. Because you probably saw it like 2 minutes ago. And then during my lunch break today, I needed something to put a few stitches in. And I'm noticing with these two sowls that like I'm making good progress with them. I'm staying on top of things, and that feels good, but it also feels like a little rushed. Like I said, I don't do sowls. This is all a little new and unfamiliar. But that feels like where all of my attention is going. And so I wanted to stitch on something that was close to being done, that was kind of like within reach, that I haven't picked up in a bit. So I grabbed Love You Dearly. This was released February, so around, or maybe January, around Valentine's Day of 2026, so this year, I'm pretty sure. But that's these 20 stitches, Love You Dearly, and it'll, I think like right there, it'll say, I love you, and then dearly. But I did, so this color, it's hard to capture what color that is. I have no idea, no clue who it is, what color it is. It's one of those that I think came in a little bag with like on a card, and that card has slipped out somewhere, but it is pretty much the color of, I don't know if you can see that at all. It is the color of pine pollen, like when in the spring, when all the pine pollen has fallen down and it rains, and you get it like that kind of yellowy green, almost neon-y coat across the puddles. That's the color that is. So I did a little tiny bit of a color conversion, and then for some reason, I decided that I was gonna use Krynic in the back. I guess because it's like, it's D's, and I felt maybe something like fun needed to go on there. I mean, the pattern itself is precious. I love those retro little deer. But yep. So I'm stitching Krynic, and I decided around my lunch break that I wanted to put, I think it amounted to like 10 stitches because it was Krynic. But this Krynic will be a heart. So very close, very, very close to a finish there. Well, I say that all that's left is the Krynic, and it'll be great. It'll be great. But that's my progress. That's what I've been stitching in the last couple of days, and that's what I got.
So coming soon, probably more of the Not So Scary Apothecary. Maybe some quilt plans, or at least like a fabric pull for some quilt. We got two babies coming up in the family. One's going to be born on Friday, but two babies coming up in the family. Two of my nieces have like specifically asked for things made for Christmas, which I'm actually like, oh, you actually want me to make you something? Okay. So I'm kind of brainstorming some plans. One of my nieces has really gotten into, she's really gotten into needlepoint, which of course is the craze. But she's really gotten into needlepoint, so I think I'm going to make her a project bag. Yeah, more to come on that. That'll be fun. But yeah, we'll see. We'll see. I'll probably do like maybe one more of these and then call it. I'm not gonna, this is not a try hard situation. I'm doing my best. If I will say this, if there's anything you would like to see outside of cross stitching, this is mainly going to be cross stitch, but I do a lot of quilting and a lot of sewing. If you're like, I'm not here for that, let me know that. Also, if there's something that I'm doing that's totally ridiculous, like you can hear stuff in the background or the lights off, or like I know I keep looking in the wrong place because my camera is off somewhere weird. Like, I know, I'm doing my best. But if there is anything, if you have productive suggestions, I would love to know those, to hear those. What are the things you like to see in Flosstube, sewing vlog type things in particular? I decided that, like, you know, trying to figure it all out was going to keep me from actually doing any of these. And I really, you know, it's not that serious. I can figure it out as I go. So, all right, my friends, I will see you in a bit. Hey, y'all. It is August 27th. So a little bit of time has gone by, but you know what? It is better than the 2, 3, 4 years it's been since I did a Flosstube. Whatever, I don't know. No one's keeping count. It's all right. So this will probably be my last little like chunk of stuff before I put it all together and post. Haven't done a ton of stitching just because life has been very busy the last week or so, but I did get some stuff done, so I did want to show that. So first off, just a little tiny bit of progress on Not So Scary Apothecary. I'm behind. It's okay. I'm not worried. Not worried. I know I talked about this last time, but I realized that it was giving me some like undue stress and anxiety, not like major. It was just feeling like another thing I had to keep up with when I was having a lot of things that were time sensitive and that I had to keep up with in my life. And so I just like sort of rebelled, and I was like, no, I'm not going to stitch on this at all. I'm going to stitch on some totally different stuff. So that's what I did. In a moment of stress, what's it called? Lindy Stitch's Harvest Moon Hangout, something like that. I did sign up for that. I did sign up for a kit, which I am not necessarily one to do. But I am, I signed up for this kit for Heartstring Samplery. Yeah, Heartstring Samplery, Flowers Shall Grow. And I got the kit because I don't want to have to figure out where to get like the right sized coffin
because there's a coffin involved. And it says, from my rotting body, flowers shall grow, and I am in them, and that is eternity. I like that. So that's the start that I have on it, and it's in the kit that I got. It has everything except for your floss and fabric because it doesn't use much of either. So I am using Shipwrecked from Barefoot Needle Art. Wow, my mind was blanking. Shipwrecked from Barefoot Needle Art. And it's a 20 count Ada. And the Gentle Art Witching Hour. Yeah. So really not a ton left to do on that. Though I was thinking, if anybody knows how to do this, I was thinking it would be really cool to do this on a light, a really light gray, and then do the stitching in a moss green. So it almost looks like, you know, the moss is growing in the like engraving, if that's a gravestone. I'm still thinking about like figuring out how to make like little moss patches or like a little vine that I can wrap around it. Just so it's like swallowed by the plants. I would love to be swallowed by plants one day. The plants are definitely swallowing my garden at this point in August because I have not had time to weed, and so I have passion flower vine that's just everywhere, also called Maypop. It's beautiful. I love it. But if you grow it, you know it can really go wild, and it has, which, you know, whatever. It's fine. Okay, so next thing, and this is really the last thing that I worked on, but I did have a finish. So it's little robins. It's to my dear father. This is for my dad. And my dad, he loves being at the coast. He loves the low country, South Carolina. We call low country like the marsh areas, so the lower part of the state where you've got all those marshes that you can kind of go up in and look out on, and you know, it's really, really, really lovely. That's his thing, and he and I have always loved just kind of piddling around and exploring the marshes and just riding around and looking around. So that's that. I didn't put the date at the bottom. Just cause. So finished it. The date meaning 1845. I'd be like, I'm not that old. So finished it. This was kind of a tedious little thing that I've been working on for a while. I didn't have a ton left to do. It's just lots of, I won't say confetti because it's not confetti, but not chunks of color, right? So you really have to like count and pay attention. And yeah, sometimes I just like to use my stitching to kind of decompress. But I got that finished. I had maybe, I don't know, a few hundred stitches left in it. So I got that finished. Super excited. I will frame that, finish that, and give it to my dad at some point. I don't know when. But yeah, that's all the stitching that I've done. I've been working on, well, planning a few quilts. I kind of know what I'm doing for the two babies that have been born, but I need to, or one baby's been born, another baby is coming soon. So I just need to stitch those up. I'm still kind of gathering all the pieces for it, but I'll get those. They won't get them till Christmas. So I'm not like, I'm not stressed about it. I'll give it to them on Christmas and that'll be fine. And then I did start digging through my scrap bin this morning. I've just kind of kind of wanted to make stuff. This is Thursday. It's been a week of a lot of people dying, like figures, like, you know, well-known people, obviously Dolly Parton and Tim Curry, but there have been some other artists and just some other folks who have died, who, like, I feel like it's sort of a week where we've lost a lot of people who encouraged others to just be their wildest, truest, and like best selves. So that kind of has me thinking, like, am I making the things that I want to make? I guess is kind of part of it. Am I doing the things I want to do, making the things I want to make? So all that's to say, that, of course, the last time I was at Dollywood, I took pictures of quilts that were there, and was kind of digging through my scrap bin looking for scraps to make some kind of quilts that are inspired by the quilts that are in their little, like, there's like a little model of what their home looked like when she was growing up. And, you know, the beds are covered in quilts. So I think I might just kind of explore, play with some scraps and just see what I make. And in that line, I've also kind of been thinking about how to make that something that gives back to people. So if you've had any success with that, using your making to be able to, like, truly give back to people, I'd love to know. I'd love to know. You know, I've definitely donated quilts for silent auctions before. They just, I mean, you don't get a lot of money for quilts. I sold some for a while. So I don't know if donating quilts would be it. If people, you know, actually would like them, and you know, if that would be something good, or if that would be more something that would make me feel good. I've thought about, you know, selling them and giving the proceeds to, you know, a nonprofit that I care about. I've thought of making some quilts and maybe donating them to probably a teen shelter. I don't know. What are your thoughts on that? What have you had success with doing? I feel like a lot of times when people tie, like, stuff they've made to, for lack of better word, charity, it's usually like they feel good about it, but not necessarily something that's that helpful. I've worked in nonprofits before, and, you know, sometimes you're like, thanks, but we just need money to run the programs that we have. So I don't know. That was kind of a tangent, but I'd love to know your thoughts on that. How do you make your making mean something, I guess? Yeah, I'd love to know. Let me know. Love to chat, love to talk to you. I'm excited about releasing this, and just hearing from y'all. So, you know, follow along. Maybe we'll get another one that's not, you know, years down the road. So, all right, y'all, take good care of yourselves and be well. I'll see you soon.